Toot gamers, I haven't seen these OTA notes in advance, but I've got them here in front of me now. Let's go ahead and do a One Cut Express live react. If you're watching this on YouTube in the future, be sure to smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let's go ahead and fire this up, shall we? Similar to last month, our December features time off for our staff. Imagine that, treating your employees like people. So there's only one OTA this month. The metagame is in healthy shape. There's a clear best deck in Suitor. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder if they mean the Wiccan Suitor or just Suitor in general is the clear best deck. It's an interesting tidbit. But tons of other viable strategies can win at the highest level. Today's OTA will shave a little strength off the top dog and shake up a few other things along the way. The start of the game, +1 max energy, shuffle 15 random cards into your deck. Game start, shuffle 12 new cards into your deck. Well, that's interesting. Wait, does this mean it doesn't do cards that you already have? Since release, Airship, and you don't get max energy till turn 3. Since release, Airship has been among the most played and discussed cards in the game. That's true. I've never seen a deck hit 70% play rate on the public tracker. After some early balance, the archetype win rate and cube rate have both settled into a competitive but acceptable range. However, the play rate has continued to crest over our preferred threshold for metagame diversity. That band is a little more lax in Airship's case. The deck itself adds variety to the gameplay experience, but we think we've reached its limit. So we're adjusting Airship to start giving additional energy on turn 3. In addition to removing 2 energy overall, this changes how aggressively the deck can develop early pressure. Since it's a nerf, we're reverting to 12 random cards. However, in reading through frustrations around Airship, one element that often came up was playing against cards created randomly that were also in Airship's starting deck. Predicting Airship is already hard, but accounting for doubles makes it even harder. That aspect isn't crucial to Airship, so we've adjusted the effect to only add cards that didn't start in your deck. Oh, that's interesting. Starting in 2025, we're shortening start of game to game start for a keyword. Okay. Yeah, this is just like one of the many examples of Second Dinner being better at their balanced job than everyone at home and what the various suggestions that they make. This is a phenomenal change. I don't think I'd ever heard anybody suggest, well, what if it just didn't give you max energy till later? That's such a clean, efficient way to do that. And I really like the, we're not gonna have repeats anymore. Getting Alioth once sucked, getting Alioth twice is miserable. Oh, this is interesting. This must be one of the Suitor changes, huh? Typhoid Berry. Since we shifted Typhoid Berry's focus drawback to one location, she's a big surge in play and win rate, fueling the Suitor shell. Since Suitor's the clear best deck, we're gonna give it some wiggle room. This is great. I think you still play the card, but she has a little bit more cost associated with her. This could even potentially be a detrimental enough ongoing that maybe you consider playing Luke Cage or Enchantress with her again. Another good 10 out of 10 change. Oh, baby! You're speaking my language, Glenn. We're down to a 6 names. 6-9. Nice. Similarly, Alioth is unnecessarily providing extra tools for the strong Suitor strategy. We use Alioth as a fairly specific kind of tool, and churning its strength is one of the ways we create fluctuation within the metagame. It doesn't need any special help to earn the right slots. Yep. Sweet. This is, I wanted this. I asked for a point off of Alioth. Not surprised to see this. This not only makes the Suitor decks a bit worse, but it takes a point of power out of the Wicked decks, which have been incredibly powerful. Holy, she's back, gamers! Since the last time we experimented with this improvement to Enchantress, it's changed a fair bit, including how often people play her. That's noteworthy because several strong ongoing cards are pillars of the metagame. Rogue has been doing heavy lifting lately, and we want Enchantress to serve as an effective dial also, so Mo power is warranted. This makes a ton of sense. I actually have been talking about the other day how I was shocked when we got Enchantress out of someone because it was like very clear that like Enchantress wasn't a commonly played card. It was one of the bottom of the tech cards. This is one of those free points that's pretty likely to have an effect. This is really interesting. Shifting Black Widow to activate didn't weaken her as much as it expected. It's possible Grandmaster shenanigans were a distraction, and these decks are better when they're more focused. Since we didn't want to wind up with a Black Widow nerf, we're reverting her back to a 3/3. This is a really interesting observation. It's possible the Grandmaster shenanigans were a distraction. So they, by changing Widow to activate, they caused people to build better decks, which means that even though activate is generally worse than on reveal for her, the fact that the decks got better when they could no longer Grandmaster her meant that her performance was still really strong. This is the type of observation that I love in these types of notes from Second Dinner, because like they didn't have to tell us this, but it's a great tidbit to have access to from a that makes sense perspective. I would honestly, Darkhawk is one of those things where its power level I feel like has often been a lot higher than its play rate allots for, so I'm not surprised to see Black Widow still performing strong just because the Darkhawk shell is so good. I also think the Wiccan decks have been really popular, and Darkhawk is one of the best ways. Darkhawk is one of the best ways to attack Wiccan with Korg and even Black Widow, try and cut their consistency a little. We were conservative with Frigga because copying other cards can multiply buffs in unpredictable ways. Given that Frigga has needed some more strength, we're giving her a power. Yep, that tracks. Oh, hey, this is bold. We're giving 2 points to Shuri. Usually they're pretty shy about giving more than one. How times have changed. Once a metagame tyrant, Shuri fell to the bottom of our win rates for individual cards last week. Given the card supports unique gameplay flows, we want to restore a bit of glory to it now that a range of archetypes are capable of competing with its power output. Yep, that seems free. And hey, maybe we'll start with some kitty Shuri today when we start playing games, because both Shuri and Frigga got buffs here. Lockjaw. Uncapping Lockjaw's swaps brought Lockjaw back to life, but there's room for more. One major element holding Lockjaw back has been the continued success of Darkhawk decks, which threaten to incidentally shut Lockjaw down, but that's not its only bad matchup. We're giving it a point. Sounds great. Excuse me? The Asgard deck that leans on Jane Foster to consistently buff Thor and Beta Ray build to new heights is one of our more novel and creatively satisfying decks. As such, we want it to be a solid contender in competitive metagames. However, the deck's fallen on hard times, and Beta Ray Bill has been one of the weaker pieces. A 7th point of power for Bill would raise buff rates while also being doubled alongside Stormbreaker, which is more strength than we wanted to add. Distributing power to the axe is a nice middle ground. 0-3 with no drawbacks. I mean, you have to play a 4-6. But yeah, I like it too. That's a sweet, sweet change. Oh, honey. Oh, honey. Honey! Honey, they buffed Cerebro! Honey, they buffed Cerebro! Mom! Camera! We love Cerebro. It's a novel deck that challenges deck building prowess, but with the recent uptick in strategy using strong ongoing cards, it suffered a bit of splash damage. This OTA changes often impact Cerebro. The deck needs to adapt constantly. This is a pretty big change, but it might just be what Cerebro needs. That's sweet. Yeah, we have Shadow King back in Cerebro 2 again. We're still missing Storm, which is not nothing, but yeah, okay. This is sweet. So you get one of the big things Cerebro to 2 does is you can Cerebro and Mystique Cerebro on 5 now. You could also go Cerebro plus a 2. Yeah. That sounds great. I'm glad Elsa is getting something. But I would be surprised if this is enough. I was really hoping they would take a big crack and just put her back to +3 with Galacta being around at +3. But yeah, they buffed 3 cards in the Shuri Kitty deck we were playing, and that deck felt kind of okay. So we have Frigga, Elsa, and Kitty now? Or sorry, Shuri, Frigga, and Elsa all got a point or 2. So that's where we'll start. I like it, gamers. That seems solid. I really like the direction they took the airship change in. Both the acknowledging that this is one of the specific parts that kind of sucks, and then also making this meaning you don't get Loki'd on one anymore is incredible and fantastic. No touches to Wiccan, so no change to Wiccan directly, but all the really good Wiccan decks are playing Goliath. So their set of cards got hit. Yeah, and Bob's still a 1/5, probably a fine time to pick up Hydration Robert if you've been waiting. Wiccan would still be good as a 4/6. I wouldn't be surprised if Wiccan got tapped eventually, but he's definitely, I would wager the Wiccan decks are probably #1 with a bullet. But it's also worth noting that some of the top performing Wiccan decks were also Suitor decks, so there's going to be some variety there too, because they tapped a couple of things in the Suitor core. All right. Thanks for watching. If you're on the YouTube side, remember to tap the like button at the end. Stop by the Daily Decks channel for decks featuring new cards here over the next little bit. Be sure you check back in again on Hooglandia Snap on Saturday afternoon, where we'll be doing our best decks roundup, looking how things are shaking out after the OTA.